It's a beautiful day here in New Rochelle, Westchester County, where the New York Empire, hot off a road trip that saw them go 2-0. They're 11-0 on the season, and they play host to the Montreal Royal, who come into this one at 0-11. There's a look at Joseph F. Vecina Field, but here's a look up in the lineup, the number 6. But without Oliver Chartok, a number of different absences for the Empire today, but Oliver Chartok missing from this O-line as Charles Weinberg, the aforementioned Charles Weinberg, sets it up for John Lithio, the left hand. Strong, powerful left hand of John Lithio, pulls it down. It's 1-1, and you can see the man congratulating him. That's another guy that we're going to talk about, I think, throughout the game, in the number 0, Zachary Burpee. Again, missing.
Defense for New York.
Yeah, you look at the 13 players playing primarily on the D-line tonight for New York, and they're without the number 1 and 2 all-time block leaders in Mike and Ryan Dross, but still they get the turnovers. That's John Randolph jumping the passing lane, picking it off. Second straight break. The Empire are thinking about it. Randolph easy for Marquez Brownlee.
On the board for his MVP campaign in Ryan Oscar.
Yeah, I don't think Osgar and Babbitt are thinking too much about it. Again, they are the leading assist and goal getter in the league this season, and that's another one to add to it. And yeah, Babbitt scores the goals, but that was quite a pretty assist by John Lithio.
Absolutely.
And 9 games. Have they played even enough games to be MVP? You mentioned Jordan Kerr, but Jace Dunaball's been fantastic. Jacob Miller's been fantastic for Salt Lake.
And that's what you want out of a team. Everyone's got to play. And there's Antoine, who's been the MVP of the second half of this season for New York.
And he, especially on that road trip, had a candidate to be the MVP, certainly. He had 5. Both went to college in the New England area. Randolph at Brown as Williams looking for Osgar. And he finds him. Osgar getting behind the defense. And that's always the tricky thing about Ryan Osgar. Of course, the tape is going to tell you 4 over in each and every game. That just 3 players have played in every contest this year. Quinlan.
Yeah, clock
with
down.
2 seconds, and Tremblay Jonka as time expires in the first quarter. That's another assist for Kevin Quinlan, so he gets ever closer to Goose Helton, and Tremblay Jonka switched over to the O-line, and he gets a goal that makes it 8-5.
That was a wonderful play there by Christoph.
Chartok swinging over to Burpee, as you mentioned, out to the wings. And then Burpee with those inside breaks. Lithio again on a platter for Babbitt. 9-5.
Yes, sorry, we got some whip.
Lithio looking deep again. This one's going to get low, and so it's going to get eaten up. That's the first actual block if they can put this one in, because again, as you mentioned, Tony, they struggle in stretches, but then they go toe for toe with anybody. Nice little window there. Getting down to his knees and finding a way is Raphael Lalonde, brother of Thomas Lalonde.
That was a wicked
on blacktop in a parking lot now for the rest of my life, I think. As speaking of a layout, Weinberg just can't reach that one. Yeah, imagine that, doing that in 1972 in a parking lot. But
that's why Stork got his nickname, because and it's coming back the other way here. Let's see if Montreal can make it.
Yep, and running it down. That's goal number 2 for Eloi, and that's the break chance that Montreal wanted and needed. They're now down just 12-10 to the New York Empire with 3:11 left to go in the second.
Come on, I'm loving it. I'm loving these kids are getting jazzed up here. Eloi is psyched.
The rush, and used to play for the Outlaws and Oscar. That was a high stall count.
Montreal is shutting down this offense right now. I mean, that's just what it is. This is a bailout throw that Oscar's got to put up to Jack.
And Jack had a read on it the whole way. Back to Burpee, back to Jack. One man in the end zone is John Lithio. So they find the open man in Weinberg. Weinberg's thinking over the top to Burpee, but they recover well, that being Montreal. Now Oscar with 1:40 left to play, and yeah, this is the best pressure. They just got broken, and now another point with a ton of pressure. Well, we'll say a little bit, but Weinberg and Lithio really went off in the goals and assist categories. And Montreal O-line also moving the disc much better here too. Rousseau,
nice look.
Looking end zone, finds the on-rushing Cale Campbell, who's delivered assists and now gets goals himself. Yeah, Montreal playing with a bit of confidence now.
I mean, what a difference, right? We saw them couple drops, heads down, just kind of looking a little low. That was, they won the 1975, 1976, and I believe the 1977 tournaments. It might have been 74. Oh, let's see if we get a call.
22 seconds left. Antoine Davis run through block there. So Ethan Thornton is going to pick it up. Antoine's still running. You can see Antoine on his horse, wants it back. Randolph with 9 seconds left. Ben Katz back to Randolph. Ethan Thornton's the wide open man. Gonna have to look end zone. Hammer over the top and running through with it, Matt Lamar. So one buzzer beater goes for Montreal, one buzzer beater goes for New York, and that brings us to the half with the Empire getting the break to end it 15-11 at the half.
Whew, what a way to end it there. Exciting there. Controversial play by Antoine Davis, whether he got that paw in there first.
Jack Williams. Now Jack over to Zach Burpee, so they get out of the end zone, out of Callahan territory. Now Lithio up for Osgar, and that is a laser. Osgar lost it, found it, not in the end zone, and he finishes it off to Jeff Babbitt. That's goal number 5 for Babbitt. That's assist number 5 for Osgar. But it was all about that read from Ryan Osgar. Yeah, he's checking his elbow because that was on a laser. It was destined to hit the ground, and Osgar said no.
It was a perfect put, and he lost it for just a second, adjusted to try to find it where it is, and once he makes up to it, he's got to get a full extension layout, and wow, that turf does not feel good when you lay down on that speed, that angle.
But you have to say that
team for a reason, which is he's not going to give up a point. He's not going to play slack. That's just not in his DNA. Most of the players on this team are not. It's just
50-50.
An overall sort of
Randolph gets a piece of it. Almost a second attempt by Le Bourdet, who, for as good as he was yesterday, those 4 goals and a half against Boston. He's
absolutely correct that you start to play down a little bit. We've seen Empire do that before, but they know that they're good. They know that they've got this, so sometimes you just need an extra breath to get there.
This guy right here is
Tremblay Jonca in the end zone again. Makes it a 1-goal game, eating up a Will Selfridge throw where Empire could have been broken on the first point of that game. And that's Zachary Burpee getting in there. Speaking of young players adding some energy, rejuvenating things. So now they've got 10 seconds to get to the end zone. Here's Weinberg. Osgar, plenty of time for him. He sees it. 5 seconds, he'll put it up. It's Lithio and it's Babbitt. And it's John Lithio. Took the contact, got the bump, and got the score. A big one for the Empire to end the third by a big man. Not a man of many words, but a man of many big plays. 19-16, heading to the break. If you ask the coaches, that being Coach Charlie Hoppus and Coach Anthony Nunez, they're going to give you the coach speak answer that they're going to say, I bet, that they love that Montreal challenged them. And that's almost a D, but a Mac right into the hands of John Lithio. Ended the third with a goal, starts the fourth with 1. And then you blink, and that's what happens to the Empire, right? You blink, and they're up by 4 again when it could have been 1.
Hell of water.
When you ask the two of them their opinion, who do you think Jeff Babbitt said? Oh, Ryan Osgar. And speaking of MVP candidates, 2-time MVP, Ben Yacht. Well, there's kisses for the bingo card.
Whoa.
Ben Yacht getting the Callahan here, 21-16. When Matt Cat-Stevens and Kevin Quinlan played that first Empire game against the Rochester Dragons, it wasn't in SD, but a bit grainy, but certainly these games now all in high definition as Yacht ran through that one, and that's another break, and got to be frustrating for Montreal.
This is the result.
And almost a timeout for Montreal instead of bailout throw here. Le Bourdet, and Randolph has a beat on it, so Randolph easily snatches it out of the sky. That one didn't float the way that Montreal would have wanted it to.
Yeah, it's tough with John Randolph back there patrolling. He's got speed.
And so tough for Le Bourdet again to go yesterday as Marquez Brownlee didn't have to lay out, thought about it until the very end, but in full stride, MKB tracks it down. That's another.
It's very, very compelling. It's very addictive. It's fun. So you see this bomb go up. And so the more people that play, the more people that play. John Randolph.
Another Randolph, yeah.
Another Seattle native.
2 for John Randolph.
He played in high school, and you see it's paying off, and it's just a great.
Then you also have Dexter Clyburn, who's on the team as well. Lucas Ambrose is not going to be in the postseason, but he was amazing leading the league in
you're selling
blocks.
short. What if San Diego like looks out for their LA friends as Zach Burpee here just rises up. And I love seeing Burpee get the chance.
There's Quinlan. He can get within one, though. There's Quinlan throwing it up.
Nice throw.
And that is a beauty from Kevin Quinlan. Again, he is now one away from breaking Goose Helton's second all-time.
Love it. And he's a great guy. Talked to Kevin Quinlan, nicest guy. You know, he's working with B Ultimate there. They're doing a lot of great stuff. As this disc comes flying into the stands,
as per usual,
that's it.
It doesn't make it to the stands fully, but as per usual, Jack Williams not worried about his turnover numbers, doesn't care, so throws it into the stands. The Empire win this one 28-19. Again, the big one here from this game, I think, Tony, is that, yes, they won by a comfortable scoreline by 9, but that game felt like a little bit of a warning shot for New York to say, if we do that against Boston or against DC,